New Comic Book Day is almost here again, so let's take a look at the books on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. This is my weekly video where I tell you about the books coming out this week. I'll tell you what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list. I'll be making a game day decision on this week. Not actually a heavy week, but a lot of books with heavy price tags. So we'll have to make some cuts here. But let's talk about the book I'm most excited for. And this week, that is Wolverine, issue 35. Wolverine, written by Benjamin Percy, art by Juan Jose Rip. This is the conclusion of the Weapons of X storyline. If you don't know, Beast went crazy and Wolverine's trying to get him back in check. And the satisfying conclusion is right here. So I'm excited about it. Wolverine is actually the whole Weapons of X between Wolverine and X-Force is really the only corner of the X universe that I've been staying caught up on. And the only reason Wolverine doesn't make it to the top spot more often is the art. The art isn't bad. It's just it's so different from the covers that we've been getting by Lionel Francis Yu. It takes me a second to get into, but the story just trumps everything, honestly. So it's been an amazing series, and I'm going to be sad to see it go now that we're headed toward the fall of X, and I'm presuming it's going to end eventually. Like whatever Benjamin Percy had to say about Wolverine, it's got to be coming to a close with the fall of X, right? Anyway, Weapons of X conclusion is in this issue 35 of Wolverine. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And since we're talking about Marvel Comics, let's go ahead with the next book on the list, and that is The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 30. Written by Zeb Wells, art by Ed McGuinness. It's Spider-Man versus Doc Ock with all of the crazy ridiculousness that you might expect from someone with a cartoonish style like Ed McGuinness. It's been fun. It's just been a fun book for the last couple of issues. So that's pretty much it. The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 30 has got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. The next book on the Marvel pull list is The Avengers, issue number 3. The Avengers, written by Jed McKay, art by C.F. Villa? Pretty sure. Can't even lie, dog. I basically did not read a comic in the month of July. Not a single issue anyway. So, yeah, I read The Avengers 1, thought it was fine. Haven't read Avengers 2 just yet, and I expect it'll be fine. Hopefully, it's good by the time we get to issue 3, but I can't even report on it. But Avengers number 3's got a cover price of $3.99, grabbing cover A. And the last book on the Marvel pull list, I wish it wasn't, because this price tag is kind of outrageous. But this is the X-Men Hellfire Gala issue. Well, it's a 2023 Hellfire Gala. It's a one-shot. And it's an $8.99 one-shot. But anyway, every time they're doing something big with the X-Men since Hickman jumped on, the Hickman and Krakoa era started, they've been doing it with the Hellfire Gala. The very first Hellfire Gala that we got saw them terraforming Mars. And then the second Hellfire Gala that we got gave us new members of the team. And now we've got another Hellfire Gala. I'm assuming they're going to vote in another new X-Men. I haven't been keeping up to see who's in the fan vote. Last year we got Firestar, and Thunderbird came back out of nowhere. Is his name Thunderbird? Firebird? Firestar? Maybe it's Firestar, because those other two things are Pontiacs, right? Anyway, so the Hellfire Gala. I know that the Hellfire Gala this year is leading to the fall of X, and that's the only reason I'm even considering buying this book. But for $9, it better be like the most amazing book ever. And I'm pretty sure it won't be. But $8.99. If I grab it, there's not even a cover that I like. There's not even a cover that I'm like, oh, hands down, I need that one. I'm kind of settling for the X-Men 97 cover if I do grab one at all. But even that might be sold out. So I'll probably end up with the cover A by Phil Noto. At least I think that's Phil Noto. It looks like a Phil Noto cover. I'm not excited about this book. Maybe I should just take it off the list. But then how am I going to read The Fall of X? first world problems. Anyway, that's the end of my Marvel Comics pull list. If I stick to the list, those books will cost me $21, and $9 of those dollars will have been the Hellfire Gala. But I digress. Let's move over to DC Comics, who's got some expensive comics of their own. Now, you already know I'm not buying the Night Terrors event, and so you would reasonably have the question, well, what the heck is he buying? And there is a book on my maybe list this week from DC, and that is Superman, The Last Days of Lex Luthor, issue number 1. Written by Mark Waid, art by Brian Hitch. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Brian Hitch artwork, at least not the Brian Hitch covers that I've seen. I think the last thing I saw from him was Venom, and it was fine. But you know what it is? I think Brian Hitch just sucks at black people's hairlines, and I think they just have that taste in my mouth from that. But anyway, I'm sure Brian Hitch is great. Mark Waid is writing Superman, The Last Days of Luthor. This is a Black Label series. I believe it's 3 issues. And this on the maybe list because it's got a cover price of like $6.99. Like, it's an expensive book. You know, it's the oversized prestige magazine book thing, which kind of sucks because then you can't put it in your short box. I'm just full of complaints today. Anyway, it's like it's annoying because you can't put it in a short box, so you got to just put it on a shelf somewhere, and then it's like a super. Anyway, it's a Black Label book, 3 issues, prestige format. Lex Luthor is dying, and Superman's trying to save him. And I mean, Mark Waid is writing it. Mark Waid wrote Superman Birthright, which was the story that got me to at least take Superman seriously as a character. I really liked it. Mark Waid also wrote Kingdom Come, which a lot of people consider the greatest Superman story of all time. I don't even know if it counts because it's Elseworlds, but I've never read Kingdom Come. But all that said, I've not read a single book by Mark Waid that I did not like. So I'm kind of excited about this, but the fact that it's a 3-issue Black Label series means in 3 months, it'll be on DC Universe Infinite in its entirety for me to read, since I got the Ultra membership. And it's almost guaranteed to get a hardcover. And if the story is that good, I'm gonna want the hardcover, in which case I'll be mad that I paid $21 for 3 prestige format single issues. So for all those reasons, it's on the maybe list. If I buy it, I'll grab the cover A for $7. And that's the DC list. So if I end up buying that DC book, it'll cost me $7. And now let's move on to the indies. There's a lot of indies on the list this week. Shout out to my guy Skip. But we'll start off with Ben Mortara and the Thieves of the Golden Table, issue number 3. I'm almost certain I shouted this series out a couple weeks ago because I thought it was coming out a couple weeks ago. And it didn't come out a couple weeks ago because it's coming out tomorrow. And honestly, it's a good book. 2 issues in, but with such delays between issues, I don't even really remember what's going on, except that it's a story inspired by Indiana Jones, and it feels like a story inspired by Indiana Jones. Hey, maybe you watched the last Indiana Jones movie and you want to see Harrison Ford when he's not 90 years old doing some of the Harrison Ford things. You can get that in this comic book, and it's actually really good. It's just the delays that, you know, are bothering it or messing it up for me. But anyway, this is coming to you from Arnon Shore and his Majid Comics publisher. Hope I'm saying that right. They are like the first like Jewish comic publisher. They made that announcement at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a big thing. I'm not crazy familiar with like Jewish culture, but this is a fun book. And now that I think about it, it does reference Jewish culture with the artifacts that they're trying to dig up. I get it. Anyway, Ben Mortara and the Thieves of the Golden Table, issue number 3, has a cover price of $4.99 from Scout Comics, I believe. I'm grabbing cover A. Source Point Press, not Scout. Next book is, it's a maybe list book. This is Count Dante, issue number 2. If you check back in the community post, I actually did a review of Count Dante, issue number 1 from Scout Comics. This actually does come from Scout. And Count Dante is a book about a dude that apparently was a real dude who used to like advertise his kung fu method teaching in comic books. And it was crazy because I read the book and I was like, who was this guy? So then I look him up on Wikipedia, and like his Wikipedia page is just as ridiculous as the book is, which makes the book feel more ridiculous, which makes the Wikipedia page feel more ridiculous. And now all of a sudden I'm just having a lot of fun digging into this Count Dante dude. And now I want to read the comic because I'm like, all right, with all the stuff that this guy did in his life, how is this comic going to go for these few issues? The reason it's on the maybe list, because it is on the maybe list, is I don't know if I subscribe to it. And if I'm honest, my to read pile is kind of huge because I basically skipped the month of June or July in my reading. So if this book's not on the pull list, I'm not going to go out of my way to grab it. I'll wait for trade or something. But if it is in my box, then I'll pick it up. Cover price on that is $4.99. Grabbing cover A. And the next book on the indie pull list from Dynamite Entertainment is Disney Villains Scar, issue number 4. So I told you guys this series was kind of a slow burn for me. Written by Chuck Brown, art by Trevor Fraley. The Trevor Fraley art finally grew on me, the sort of watercolor painted style. Like it looks like the Lion King, like you remember, but with like a texture instead of a like that classic Disney sheen. And it was bugging me for a second, but I got used to it and I like it actually now. But this is basically giving us the backstory on how Scar got hooked up with the hyenas. And this issue is the last issue, which I feel like it could do with one more. But I think the fact that this issue is the final issue just kind of underscores what I've thought about the series the whole time. And that is, it's fine, but it's unnecessary. Like, I don't know. There's no like great threat to Scar. We know where it's going, and we don't really know why this book needed to happen, except that Disney and Dynamite wanted more money from it, which is not to say that it's bad. It's fine. Like, Chuck Brown's writing is good. Trevor Fraley's art is good. It's just, we don't need it. All that to say, I am kind of like at least curious to see how it ends. Although the writing's on the wall. We know exactly what's going to happen. Scar's going to end up being the king of the hyenas. There's already a queen of the hyenas. So how's that going to happen? Scar's going to beat the queen. Spoiler alert. Somehow. And we'll figure out how, I guess, in this issue. And that's my gripe. That's my gripe. I know what's happening as it's happening. And it took all the way up until issue 3 for me to get into it and be like, okay, cool, this is going somewhere. Then I found out issue 4 was the last issue. I'm like, dang, we could have at least built up a conflict a bit, use issue 4 for that, and then end it with a nice big fight in issue 5. All right. Anyway, I'm not supposed to be critiquing these books that deeply on this show. This is just telling you what I'm buying. And that is Disney Villain Scar, issue number 4. Cover price on this is $3.99. You know, I didn't pick out a variant cover. Let's do that. Ooh, Trish Forstner. Trish Forstner got it again. It's Scar deep, down in the reflection pool, and a hyena reflects back up at him. I like it. There's some other cool covers. Okay, the 1 in 10 by Trevor Fraley, that's a very close second. Actually, it would be a first if it was an open order cover. I'd get that instead of the Trish Forstner. Anyway, Disney Villain Scar, issue number 4. Out this week. $3.99. Get the cover A or the cover B or the ratio variant if you're feeling that way. Dynamite always gets you with the variants. But next up on the poll list is the return of the gangster. No, I'm joking. It's the return of Firepower, issue number 25. Firepower by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney, who, by the way, has a pretty cool cover to that Last Days of Lex Luthor book. But anyway, Robert Kirkman, Chris Samney bringing you Firepower. Owen is back. And if I'm honest, I missed this series. It was so action-packed. We ended issue 24 with quite the revelation. And then the book just like disappeared for what feels like 6 months. Like, I feel like I got caught up on Firepower to start the new year. It's been a minute. The hardcover for volume 1, which is the first 15 issues, has been out for a long time. Yeah, it's been a minute. But anyway, Firepower 25. So, issue 24 ended with quite the revelation, and issue 25 is going to pick up on that. This is going to be an oversized issue, not oversized like height-wise or trend size, but oversized as in more pages. And hey, that's well-deserved, like for us waiting so patiently. Cover price on this is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And next book on the indie pull list this week is honestly a chopping block contender, but it's probably safe this week, and I'll tell you why. This is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 110. Now, before I took a month off from reading comics, I was already behind on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it was like one of the only books that I was that far behind on. But I kept buying it, one, because the covers are by Torrin Clark, and I like Torrin Clark covers. And two, what was the second reason? Oh, because it was good. I was enjoying it before I fell behind. But let me tell you why I'm probably not buying it after this issue. And that is, we are about to head into a year-long Power Rangers event. And the last time I signed up to read a year-long event, that event was called the Armageddon Game, and I literally did not make it past the first issue, even though I bought all 95 issues between the main event and the tie-ins and the main series, because the main event was a separate book, but the ongoing series kept going as well. Anyway, I fear that I would make the same mistake with Power Rangers if I don't just cut the umbilical cord right now. So you know what? Hey, Melissa Flores, I love it. I was enjoying it, but I think we should break up now. It's not you. It's me. Power Rangers issue 110. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the pull list this week is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo Whirlwind, issue number 5. This is the series finale. And it's, Usagi and his homies and the Turtles against the evil Dr. Whirlwind. Every issue has been exciting. Every issue has seen Dr. Whirlwind like, is it Dr. Whirlwind or Dr.? It's definitely Dr. Whirlwind. Anyway, it has seen him just like, employing the most crazy things, like trying to get them off their game, recruiting like underground moles and all this stuff. And, it's been fun. I don't think I bought issue 4. I wanted to buy the Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird cover for issue 4. And by the time I got to the shop, that issue was sold out. And I don't even think I actually grabbed the cover A to replace it. So I'm definitely behind. This is the finale. I'm assuming the Turtles and Usagi are going to, beat Dr. Whirlwind and or the Turtles will go back to their New York City and their normal timeline. But, hey, I don't know. It's written by Stan Sakai. The art is by Stan Sakai as well, which is why I've been buying the Kevin Eastman B covers, just because I like that, that juxtaposition there. Also, though, this has been my first time reading Usagi, and the word I have for it is charming. It's a nice, charming little rabbit, even though the dialogue reminds me of like when you walk up to a character in a Pokemon game on Game Boy, and it just pops up like, oh, hello there. I didn't see you. That's what it reminds me of for whatever reason. But anyway, fun series, and it's ending this week with a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing the Kevin Eastman cover B. And that's it for all the books on the indie pull list. If I buy them all, that grand total will be $24 for the indies, which brings me up to a total, if I buy Superman and everything else I said was a maybe book, of $52 this week. That's before taxes and before my 10% subscriber discount. I will just squeak out of the shop by paying my $50, which is my budget for the week. So I'm not like over anything, but it's crazy that comics are that expensive. More often than not, the books were $4.99 or above this week. And we had one instance of a $9 book and another instance of a $7 book. These books were just way too expensive. And I don't know. Stuff like weeks like this make me like wonder, like maybe it's time to just hang up buying single issues. I'm behind on a bunch of books and they're expensive, and I impulse buy and I buy the trades anyway because I get tired of digging through the boxes. I don't know, man. It might be time to break up with single issues. If I do that, then I wouldn't have a weekly show to do for you, but I don't know. What do you think down below? Let me know. Huge thanks to the channel family for making it possible for me to even have a pull list and doing this video. Channel members are getting first access to this huge project I've been working on for like the last month. It'll be out at the end of this week for channel members. It's my first video essay and I'm excited about it. So if you want early access, then be like the channel members and click the join button down below. At any level, every penny is appreciated. I really do. I will see you guys in another video real soon. Until then, I don't know what you're reading this week. There are a lot of great options. Whatever you pick, hopefully, is something dope. Peace.